but not so much where I still don't wrap up. I still wrapped up, you know, and I'm still scratching a little something, okay? So I leave the house and I go on my daily adventure. I'm on my way to get me something to eat. And I happen to be going down this road and I see these people with a long table set up in a yard. And I'm thinking they having a yard sale. So I stopped by and said, let me check it out, you know. So I go over to them. Hey, how you doing? The man says, hi, how you doing? And it was a man and woman out there running this yard sale. So I was like, how y'all doing, whatever. He says, you looking for something in particular? I said, no. I said, I just want to come check it out. I said, how much are you charging for this right here? I held up something. And he was like, we're not charging anything for that. It's free. Everything is free that you see. Whatever you want, you can take it. He says it's free. Everything is free. I was like, for real? He was like, yes. I was like, that's a blessing. He said, yes, we're trying to be a blessing. That's what we're trying to be. So I'm standing up there looking for things, and then I got to thinking, I was like, wait a minute. You know, while I'm trying to get things to take back to the man's house, I don't even have a ride. And so the guy sees me pondering, you know, I'm thinking, he's like, what's wrong? I said, I want something that's out here. I said, but I don't have a ride there. And he says, yeah, that's no problem. He said, if you need a ride, just ask. He said, I have a truck right there. I'll give you a ride. He says, yeah, he said, that's my truck right there. It was a big truck, black Silverado parked on the side. And, you know, those pickup trucks. So he was like, me and my wife will give you a ride just like that. So I was like, oh, that's nice, like that. So now remember I said, if I had you know, if God had blessed me with a ride, someone to move me, then I knew that was him, right? So listen, let me tell you what happened. So the man says, yeah, if you need a ride, just ask. He said, if you can't talk these things, we'll be glad to give you a ride. In fact, if you need a ride anywhere, just let us know. You know, if it's, you know, if you're handling business or something like that. He said it. He said it. I said, what? He said, yeah. He said, you know, that's what we're here for. The community, we're supposed to come together. We're supposed to help one another. He said, so I don't mind. My wife doesn't mind either, do you, baby? And he asked his wife. She said, no, not at all. I don't mind. Just like that. That was my cue. So once he said that, I was like, okay, listen, I want to move. This lady wants me to help her. She, you know, needs somebody to help her around the house. She needs somebody to cook for her, to clean for her. She's been going through sickness and illness, and she requested my services, requested me to be there. But the only problem is I don't have a ride there. I don't have a pickup truck, a moving truck, and don't have the money for a U-Haul. Like that. He said, well, I'll help you. He said, how far do you live? Where do you live? And I told him. And he says, okay. I said, but wait a minute. I said, I don't have money to pay you. He said, did I ask you for any money? I said, well, no, sir, you did. He says, well, all right then. Yo, listen, let me tell you what happened. He was supposed to give me a ride that next day. I go to the house, go to sleep, wake up. How about every single bump was gone? From my head to my toes. Every single bump had vanished. Just like that. Just as quickly as they had appeared, they had disappeared. It happened. It happened. That's the story of the Mumps. Moving on to the next one. So, God is something serious. Stop playing with him.